DBS News. Fresh in the morning, eye-opening and balanced. The DBS Morning News starts right now.
Good morning and happy Friday. In our local news this morning, Dominica is on course to lift its mask mandate. Regionally, Jamaica's health minister seeks to prioritize mental health in the region. And on the international scene, Hurricane Ian ravages Florida with much uncertainty left with losses. I am Ashma McDougall, your presenter this morning. Stay tuned for news updates.
Give babies the comfort they need with paddless diapers. A diaper with a powerful storage core that locks the wetness away and keep your baby dry. Soothe your baby's skin with a breathable cotton-like cover because paddless diapers has a wetness indicator. Your precious baby deserves a diaper like Paddlers, which has an easy fit due to flexible side panels with stretch that ensures increased comfort and freedom to move, to crawl, to walk, to run and play. Paddlers, distributed by Fine Foods and sold island-wide.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank, 100 pound LPG cylinder, Petro Caribe, 20 pound fiberglass cylinder, Petro Caribe, Petro Caribe, Petro Caribe, Petro Caribe, Petro Caribe, Petro Caribe, Petro Caribe.
DBS News.
Good morning. The mask mandate for Dominica is on course to be lifted within the next couple weeks. That's according to Health Minister Dr. Irving McIntyre, who says that his ministry has been gathering data from across the region and internationally.
Moving along, our COVID situation presently, we are 22 active cases, 0 new deaths, and we have 0 hospitalization. Our positivity rate is 6.9, and 44% of our population is vaccinated. And we're also reviewing the mask mandate in that we will be putting all the data together and all the evidence and coming forward over the next week or two with our plan to revisit the mask mandate and where appropriate to have it optional in certain places and certain shared spaces. So you can look forward, stay tuned, and we will be updating you as regards to the mask mandate.
And that was Health Minister Dr. Irving McIntyre. Meantime, Dr. McIntyre says that Dr. Carissa Etienne has done exceptionally well as director of the Pan American Health Association. Dr. Etienne's tenure as PAHO director will come to an end in January 2023 after serving a 2-year term stint. Dr. McIntyre says that the decision to appoint Dr. Etienne as Director Emeritus of the for her service to the Pan American Health Organization and the World Health Organization is well deserved.
Yesterday was a very big day at this conference in that we elected the new director of PAHO. And out of Brazil, Panama, Mexico, Uruguay, and Haiti, the Brazilian candidate was successful. That is Dr. Jabez Barbosa da Silva Jr. Dr. Barbosa is presently the acting director of PAHO. He's been acting director for the past 4 years. And prior to this, he also held many top positions in the Ministry of Health in Brazil. So he brings a wealth of knowledge and institutional memory when he takes over as the director of PAHO. That will be effective from 1st of February 2023 because Dr. Etienne's tenure ends on the 31st of January 2023. Dr. Barbosa, as I said, replaces Dr. Etienne, and that will be from the 1st of February 2023. And Dr. Etienne has done an excellent job. The entire region yesterday acknowledged that and showed gratitude and expressed their appreciation and their thanks for her services. She actually led an on-the-ground approach to health in the region, which became very apparent and relevant more so during the COVID-19 pandemic. As a matter of fact, the Pan American Health Organization and the World Health Organization has designated Dr. Etienne as Director Emeritus of the Pan American Sanitary Bureau, and that takes effect from the 1st of February 2023. And that's in recognition of the great work she has done for PAHO and the World Health Organization.
And that was Dr. Etienne. Moving over to more local news, Pesticide Registrar Anna Maria Serafin Alexander says Dominica has made significant progress to reduce risk from certain hazardous pesticides. Her comments as Dominica observes Pesticide Awareness Week this week under the theme, Pesticides are harmful to health and the environment. Alexander says Dominica over the years signed a number of pesticides treaties to reduce the use of highly hazardous pesticides.
Well, Dominica has signed a few treaties when it comes to pesticide. For example, we have the Stockholm Treaty, which speaks to just pesticides that, like under the POPs, what we call like persistent organic pollutants. These are dangerous pesticides, very dangerous pesticides. So we are a part of that treaty. We also have the Rotterdam Convention, which speaks to pesticides being imported. So, for example, if one country wants to sell, if they are manufacturing and they want to sell their chemicals in another country, then they would have to inform the Rotterdam in advance that we are willing to sell to that country. And then we have the Montreal Convention as well, which speaks to the ozone layer. So anything that actually depletes the ozone layer, not just pesticide alone, but chemicals on a whole, we look out for that as well.
And that was Pesticide Registrar Anna Maria Serafin Alexander. A $300 special on season tickets for the World Creole Music Festival continues. Acting Festival and Events Manager Samantha Leta says the ticket special is available at various outlets and will be available at Friday night's festival Duive at the Promenade in Roseau.
And as we continue to organize, we wish to inform the public that the season ticket specials are still on at $300. Only $300. These are available at our box offices of Bullseye, Roseau, and Portsmouth, and of course at DPEX in Roseau. So you still have a very short time to get those season ticket specials at $300. That season ticket special will also be sold at our first Duive being held this Friday. So we want persons to really understand the importance of getting those tickets early. You may never know, by Saturday or maybe even next week they may not be available again. So we encourage you to go forth with that. Our nightly tickets are also being sold at $150 at the Bullseye and DPEX Color Lab in Roseau and Bullseye in Portsmouth also. So there's no excuse for you not to come to the festival. There's no excuse for you to say, I didn't get a ticket. Tickets are available and tickets are going very fast. We know that the VVIP and the PVIP are sold out, so we now have the opportunity to enjoy the experiences of the forecourt and the main stage activities.
Leta also cites that plans are being well executed ahead of the highly anticipated three-night event.
We are pleased to announce that all our plans are in place and we are beginning to execute everything for the World Creole Music Festival. From all reports from our media and trade partners in the region, all eyes and ears are tuned in to Dominica for this independent season and of course for the World Creole Music Festival. We are happy to see the participation of the private sector in putting on all events for the season, of course the cultural events, the entertainment fetes, and the Tea Village Creole. We at the DFC continue to work and encourage all these events that are being promoted.
And that was Acting Festival and Events Manager Samantha Leta. Dominican pharmacist Carlton Langdo wants healthcare providers to unite behind efforts to tackle chronic non-communicable diseases. His call came on World Pharmacist Day this week, where Mr. Lando also stated the role of pharmacists in the provision of healthcare services as being unchallenged.
Oftentimes, the role of the pharmacist is underlooked. It is downplayed. You often find that pharmacists sometimes are not even mentioned as team players in the delivery of health and wellness. But think of it. We do have a role to play, and we continue to play that role with competence, with professionalism, and with passion. Let us remember that it is a collaborative effort. If we are to tackle and to control the surge of the chronic non-communicable diseases, every one of us as healthcare providers must play our part. So, let me take the opportunity to thank, to celebrate, and to honor all pharmacists for the incredible work that they continue to do to ensure that there is good, healthy, and safe delivery of medicines to all.
And that was local pharmacist Carlton Lando. And in commemoration of Caribbean Youth Day, manager of DBS Radio Cecil Joseph says that the national broadcaster is delighted to partner with the National Youth Council of Dominica for this auspicious celebration. A number of young people will be playing an active role in the station's programming today through the presentations of news and other air activities.
Let me first compliment the National Youth Council on celebrating a milestone, 47 years of Caribbean Youth Day, under the theme Adding Global Value, Taking Charge of Our Future. This is a very telling theme, and I think the National Youth Council, and all fairness to them, looking at their theme, felt that they could be involved in the media, because they felt that as consumers of the media, that young people feel neglected and or misrepresented by the mainstream media outlets that we have, not just in Dominica but in the Caribbean. So the National Youth Council has to be complimented for looking at the media as an outlet that they could use to not vent, but to tell people of their issues, to speak of their issues. So DBS Radio has seen the importance of working with them and allowing them on that day to be involved in our programming. So we'll find that in the morning, our 7 o'clock news, in the afternoon, our 14:15 news, and in the evening, our 6 p.m. news. They will be having presenters in those periods. They will also be looking at other programs within the course of the day. As manager of the national radio station, I feel elated, I feel excited to note that the young people of Dominica see the value of the media, and from DBS point of view, that it is a way that we can now assess what we would have heard and to help them to be part and parcel of DBS programming.
And that was manager of DBS Radio, Cecil Joseph, as he commemorates Caribbean Youth Day with youth across the region. And Israel Dominica is taking steps to better include children with special needs into the country's disaster preparedness plans. A project which falls under the Safe Schools Resilient Community Project will seek to build the capacity of special needs children. Disaster Risk Reduction Technical Specialist at Israel Dominica, Anel Isaac, says they have partnered with a number of organizations to develop the project.
We are doing awareness raising through murals, posters, radio shows, but we are also increasing the capacities through the special needs schools by going ahead and tailoring their school emergency operation plans and doing simulation exercises and workshops and consultations, not only with the schools, but the community focal members, the emergency responders. So we are taking this really holistic approach to ensure that persons living with disabilities are really part of the conversation and that we build their capacity to respond to or prepare for different emergencies and disasters. So our partners include the Ministry of Education, CRIF, which is the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility. It also includes the Ministry of Youth and Persons Living with Disabilities. And we created a steering committee with other persons who live with disabilities to really guide us and ensure that the decisions that we are making and this product that we are putting out is really something that benefits the community.
And that was Disaster Risk Reduction Technical Specialist at Israel Dominica, Anel Isaac. And traveling across the region, we stop over at Jamaica. In news from the region, Jamaica's Health Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, has called for greater emphasis to be placed on prioritizing and financing mental health within the region. Addressing PAHO's 30th Sanitary Conference, he said this would be timely on the heels of the COVID-19 pandemic, which significantly disrupted mental health services while prompting higher rates of anxiety, depression, and psychological distress. Tufton explained that Jamaica is making the call against the background that there is a need to address resource constraints and to eliminate the stigma and discrimination that continues to undermine the region's efforts. The minister noted that Jamaica has endorsed the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, policy for improving mental health and is supporting the resolution for its adoption by the conference. And on the international scene, the damage left behind in Hurricane Ian's wake is obvious. The boats piled up in the streets of Fort Myers, the pier ripped in half in Naples, and what authorities in Florida are uncertain of is how many people have died. U.S. President Joe Biden has warned that Hurricane Ian, which hit on Wednesday as a Category 4 storm, could be the deadliest in the state's history. And to recap our news this morning on the local scene, Dominica is on course to lift its mask mandate. Regionally, Jamaica's health minister seeks to prioritize mental health in the region. And on the international scene, Hurricane Ian ravages Florida with much uncertainty left with losses. I'm Ashma McDougall, and stay tuned for the sports news.
Good housekeeping tips from Bob. For every one roach you see, there could be hundreds you don't, and that is a problem. Don't worry, roaches don't stand a chance with Bob insecticide spray. For fast, effective control of roaches, use Bob spray regularly. Keep areas clean, cover exposed foods, and store garbage properly. Get serious. Get Bob. Locally distributed by Fine Foods Inc.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe, Petro Caribe, Petro Caribe, Petro Caribe, Petro Caribe.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
One easy loan.
More money with NBT, it's more money. Introducing Mo Money, NBT's new unsecured loan offer requiring no collateral. A simple, easy way to fund your 2022 with up to $50,000. Apply online or in branch today.
It's Mo Money time.
Do everything you want to do with Mo Money. Call us at 255-2337 or apply online at nbdominica.com. More money with NBT. It's more money.
Let's start at the wicket with cricket. Dominica went down to St. Vincent and the Grenadines by the Duckworth-Lewis method in the opening match of the Windward Islands cricket tournament in Grenada. St. Vincent reached 134 without loss and set a revised target for Dominica. Here is manager of the Dominica team, Phoenix Thomas.
Rain interrupted, and then we had a revised target of 202 to get in 24 overs, in which we got to 166 for 8 of 22. And in that, Ali Gaffan has got 73, Kashowski John has got 24, and Vincent has got 20. And at that stage, it was very dark, and the umpires decided to call off proceedings. So St. Vincent would have won on the Doco Fluid system.
First match for Dominica. Your early reaction on the Dominica team performance today?
The guys were outstanding. I mean, we did not get the early breakthroughs that we needed or we planned for when we bowled, but the game was setting up to be a very good one. The guys were energetic in the field. The bowlers, yes, strayed a bit and then got back into their own. So we were prepared, or we were heading to setting up ourselves for a very good game. In the chase, the guys were outstanding. We knew we set our targets. We had our where we wanted to be. We had our Doco Flow sheet, and then we were always either ahead or very close to the required rate. So the guys gave a good account of themselves after not playing this format for a while now. So I'm quite pleased with the effort that the guys gave. Everybody supported each other, and we are still in good spirits, knowing that we were and we would have achieved the target, given that the light was good.
Any concerns, though, your bowlers could not get the batsmen out?
This is cricket. I'm not concerned to any extent. Guys are not just going to lie down for you and allow you to just bowl them out. We had to work hard for wickets, and I think if the game had gone to the full 50, we would have made serious inroads.
And Dominica plays Grenada this morning, so we wish our guys the best success on the field. In football news, the Dominica Football Association has launched its Under-15 Boys competition. The competition, which gets underway this weekend, was launched on Thursday.
Last year, the Under-15 League commenced, but was unable to reach completion given the restrictions of COVID-19. We are back at it again, and we look forward to an exciting weekend of football by our young lads. So we expect our young fellas to provide the skills that we expect to see. This league will provide the avenue for more competitive and standardized playing opportunities for players. This will assist in the overall development of boys, both on and off the field. Their skills will be sharpened as they will compete with players of various skill sets and with different style of plays than they normally used to in their school and communities. Furthermore, they will gather a greater appreciation of teamwork as they will play as a unit in their team environments. I want to say thank you to the sponsors, Central Cooperative Credit Union Limited, the Dominica Olympic Committee, and Big Edge Financial Express. I applaud your efforts in partnering with the Dominica Football Association to make the Under-15 League a reality.
And those were remarks from President of the Dominica Football Association, Glenn Etienne. Billy Doctrove is President of the Dominica Olympic Committee and represents sponsors Big Edge and Financial Express.
I really want to say I'm very pleased with this initiative. It is something that we need to ensure that our footballers can start at a very early age to be participating in a competitive environment. This sport of football is what I consider to be the greatest sport in the world. So we are all privileged to be involved in the sport. And as Dominica's first FIFA referee, I always take pride in ensuring that I keep up to date with what's happening in football. And sometimes I'm disappointed. Whilst this day is a very encouraging day, but recently I saw some videos of an event or an incident in a game at Stock Farm, and I was disturbed about that. And I really want to call on the Football Association in this case and different associations involved in sports. You have to take a strong action against those kind of incidents. Too many times we give a slight tap on the wrist of the offenders. We need to eliminate that kind of activity.
And that was Olympic Committee President and Representative Sponsor, Big Edge Financial Express, Mr. Billy Doctrove. And continuing on to football, DS Football Club has been penalized by the Dominica Football Association. Let's take some comments from Public Relations Officer of DFA, Gerald George.
DSFC has forfeited their match against St. Joseph. On September 23, 2022, DSFC played an ineligible player against St. Joseph in the DFA President Cup at the Benjamin Park. The match ended 2-2. In reference to Article 18 of the revised rules and regulations of the Dominica Football Association, teams sanctioned with a forfeit are considered to have lost the match by 0-3. Therefore, 3 points and 3 goals have been awarded to St. Joseph. Meanwhile, the Dominica Football Association will kick off its third competition for the season when the Central Cooperative Credit Union, Dominica Olympic Committee and Big Edge Financial Express Under 15 Boys League gets underway on Saturday with 1 match. Centre will take on Wayne George Academy at the Stock Farm Complex at 12 noon. This is Gerald George, PRO, Dominica Football Association.
And continuing with football from a diasporan youth, Dominica's all-time leading goal scorer Julian Wade is continuing to make his mark in the Scottish Football League. Wade is currently playing as a striker for Scottish side Fomentine United. He netted in the team's last match and is looking forward to today's game, which is carded for 3 p.m. Caribbean time.
Last weekend, my team, Fomentine United, played against Clacknacuddin FC. That was a league game. We came from a 1-0 deficit to win the game 3-1. I scored in that game, and that result takes us up to 3rd place in the league. Tomorrow, we play against Fraserburgh FC in the Evening Express Aberdeenshire Cup final against Fraserburgh. And Fraserburgh is last season's league champion, so it will be a very, very difficult game. The Evening Express Aberdeenshire Cup is also the second oldest trophy still being competed for in world football, so has a bit of history on it. And I mean, even for myself, it will be very big to get my hands on some silverware in my second season, and it's a very big one for the club as well. So we're looking forward to that game. Everybody's excited. We've got a few bus loads going down. Fraserburgh also have their bus loads going down, so it'll be a very, very big game, expecting a big turnout. Well, the game tomorrow will be at 8 p.m. my time, so that will be 3 p.m. Caribbean time. So really excited for that game, and hopefully tomorrow around that time I'll be preparing to make a bit of history. So stay tuned and see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. And that was Dominica's all-time leading goal scorer, Julian Wade. Let's move on to the domino table. The Element Agencies and Guinness Knockout Domino Contest gets underway this weekend. Let's hear from the coordinator, Delvin Esprit.
3 big matches will be played this weekend as action bowled off in the Element Agency and Guinness Knockout Domino competition. On Saturday, Unique Rockers from St. Joseph travel to Good Hope to play hit back. And on Sunday from 1:30 p.m. at the Twilight Bar on the Port, Rockers from Pebbles will meet Palm Boys and Rebels from Funkole will meet Peace and Love Casgori. Delvin Esprit reported.
A new sports committee has been established in the community of St. Joseph. The new committee was elected on Monday evening at a meeting organized by the district sports officer, Edmund Oden. This committee will be responsible for managing and coordinating sporting activities and all other sports-related functions in the community. This comes as the sports division is on a drive to bring greater structure to grassroots sports in Dominica. The members of the new committee are President Kenny John Charles, Vice President Ian Lewis, Secretary Curlin Luke, Treasurer Sabila Luke, Assistant Secretary Treasurer Randy Charles, the PRO Dwight Paul, and other committee members include Ernest Louis, Dean Moise, Brian George, Sean Daly, and Gladys Joseph. And this has been the sports news for this morning's broadcast. Hazare.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
And happy Caribbean Youth Day to you.
Indeed, happy Caribbean Youth Day to you, of course, and all the members of the National Youth Council, of course, and all the youth currently tuned in.
Indeed. I really want to thank Mr. Joseph for extending this partnership with the National Youth Council and by extension the National Youth Parliament and other youth organizations. We see this as an opportunity to engage young people in things that are outside of the typical things that they do. Indeed. And I feel like these are ways and tools that we can obviously empower and assist youth in getting a voice. And so we say thank you to him. And I personally would like to wish all youth in Dominica and by extension the region a happy Caribbean Youth Day. I think it's a great opportunity for us to continue being active, to being engaged, and to continue having our voices heard.
Certainly, and you guys have done a marvelous job so far, and would like to encourage our listeners to keep it locked in to the Nation Station throughout the day, of course, as we will have more youth on to present the various programs, mainly the news updates and whatnot. You certainly hear from the youth of Dominica as we celebrate Caribbean Youth Day today. Certainly has been a pleasure being on with you. You did a marvelous job this morning, and I'm sure that we will be seeing you at some point in the future as a presenter.
Indeed.
So until then, stay well.
Thank you.
All right.